Okay, so I can see some thumbs up on Instagrams. I'm waiting for some thumbs ups also on Facebook. So we are going live on Facebook as well as on Instagram. We'll wait for some more people to join in. Okay, so I've got a confirmation even on Facebook that yes, we are audible. Superb. So I'm just going to put on the AC and just let me know if after that also if you guys can hear me. Okay, so can you still hear me? What is starting? Yeah, can you guys hear me? You can hear me now? Okay, yes, so there is a confirmation that yes, they can hear us on Instagram as well as on the Facebook. So awesome. So a very good afternoon to all of y'all, and I hope all of y'all are doing very well, safe and healthy. I'm Madhu Ranjit Singh, and we have started because we are worth it in the beginning of this year. This today is our episode number 5. We had done 2 episodes of Because We Are Worth It before the lockdown and before COVID. But then, everything, the whole entire world came to a standstill, so obviously we couldn't continue. But during the lockdown, we did have 2 more episodes which were online. Luckily now, since the lockdown has been kind of called off, so we are now going to have this live sessions on a personal level, because the personal touch is always much better than the online sessions. And also during online, I think because of the technical glitches, we had a lot of problem, and our viewers basically couldn't really watch the entire thing uninterrupted. But here I'm sure it should go more smoothly now. So because we are worth it, as the name suggests, was started with an intention of getting on board the stories of ladies who have kind of taken unconventional paths, or have stood strong, have strong, solid, inspiring stories to share with, and how they have dealt with in life. And this is the all women's show, and we talk and we connect and we understand, and we have a whole lot of things which are like kind of attached with Because We Are Worth It. And also, as the name suggests, many times we tend to somewhere kind of forget our worth and start feeling worthless. And I'm sure most of us have gone through that phase in our lives. Whatever your background may be, or whatever your education may be, but yes, everybody goes through that stage where you start feeling worthless. So it is a reminder again to every lady, every individual, of course, but particularly through this show for the ladies, that you are worth it. Each one of us is worth it. So, celebrate life, celebrate yourself each and every stage of life. And with this, I would like to welcome Sudha, our guest today. Dr. Sudha, please welcome.
Namaste. Thank you, Madhu. Thank you so much for having me over the show.
A very warm welcome to Dr. Sudha Srikanth. Um, Unfortunately, we have to do Namaste now because of the circumstances.
So I would say fortunately because I've always loved to say Namaste because it has a very Indianness to it, and it's also about I go down to the person in you, the soul in you, and I would like you to respect and reciprocate it. So I think it's just the gale milana is not there.
So usually on this show specifically, I had maintained a ritual where I used to literally hug my guest and make them feel comfortable. So that's why I said unfortunately I can't do that now because of the situation right now. But yes, obviously as Sudha rightly put it up, that Namaste is any days, any time welcome. So Sudha, how are you feeling today?
I am feeling very, very excited as of now, and the whole day also has been very, very pleasant, very meaningful, and yeah, it's like as your tagline says, we are worth it. It's just given me a reminder that of course I'm worth it, and I have been reminding myself. It's just that relating it to your the image consultancy and that we are worth it is such an important message for women that we need to keep reassuring each other.
Absolutely.
We are worth it.
Very well said, Sudha. Now let me just introduce, though I have been kind of floating the creatives about Sudha's credentials, but I will give a small introduction with just the main points, and then I would like her to speak more about herself. Dr. Sudha Srikanth has been a doctorate in human development. She is an emotional intelligence trainer. She is also the member of the Institute of Coaching, Harvard Medical School, Boston. And she has won many awards, and I can just go on and on. There are so many of them listed here. National Excellence Education Award 2019 at First National EduTech Innovative Summit. Excellent Trainer of the Year, Maharashtra. Third rank at Master's Degree SNDT. Best All-Rounder Student of the Year, SNDT, and she's received many medals and certificates representing the university in table tennis. So she is an all-rounder, and this is not, that's not all, there is more which needs to be spoken about, and here we go. She has been director Little Aryan's Preschools and director of studies Arya Global Research and Training Institute from December 2014 to June 2018. She has been the pre-primary head at Lopuram Public School for 4 years and the academic counselor of the Diploma in Early Childhood Education program with IGNOU for 13 years. And she has she's been the co-founder of the Little Steps Nursery and the Daycare Center at Thane, which has been running for last 18 years. It was one of the nurseries which was in the initial stages when nurseries were just coming up. It was not really like popular. So yeah, I remember that.
The daycare is still on.
And the daycare is still on. Now, her passion and commitment for the area of EI, that is emotional intelligence, provided her a chance to co-present a paper at Nexus EQ Conference, Harvard University, Boston, US, in Jan 2013. She is the Board of Studies member,
SVT.
SVT College of Home Science and SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. She has been involved in providing guidance in the field of early childhood education for over 2 decades, which is a huge period. And imagine the kind of work that she has done in the early education. Dr. Sudha Shrikant has a doctorate in human development from SNDT, working closely in area of enhancing emotional intelligence in children. Teachers, parents, youth, professionals. She has received her certification in emotional intelligence through 6 Seconds India. She is a member of the Institute of Coaching, Harvard Medical School, Boston, US. Dr. Sudha is a Director, Programs, Innovations and Promotions, Equipoise Learning. She is a Master Trainer and Chief Facilitator as well, and has been a part of the team since inception. So I think with this, what I can only do is this.
Thank you so much, Madhu. Thank you so much.
And I want you to elaborate a bit more on your journey, Sudha.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to share that human development is a discipline of home science or home economics, which is the way it is called in the West, and home science, which is very often referred to as cooking and stitching, or you still have those taglines for the same. So I am a home scientist. I'm a proud home scientist, and every moment I really thank my lucky stars and the blessings I have received that I chose what I want to do. I was very passionate way back in the 9th standard. I had decided that I want to do home science, and here I would like to mention that there was this senior in our colony. Her name is Anju. Okay, and she was the only one who was doing home science at that time. And I used to go to her house for Hindi tuition. Her mom would be tutoring me. And that's when I picked up the interest on all the lovely things that she would do. And I came back home, like, 10th standard results were announced, and then told my parents that this is what I wish to do. And of course, then it has been just till my school days, I was a very average student, and because there were many things I was studying which I felt no value, or I don't know, just I was not very interested maybe. So very average. And then it was like, started taking, I took the subject that I really wanted, and there was no looking back. So I started excelling. The minute I started excelling, then I knew that I can do it. Till then you're not sure whether you can do it or not do it. And then of course, completed my graduation. I, like at that time, maybe 2.5, almost 3 decades back, parents would want you to get married after your graduation. Yeah. And at that time, I told my parents that no, I wish to study further, and which would mean that from Pune is my native. So from there I had to come to Bombay, and it would mean that I had to stay in the hostel. So there was a lot of thought process, and at that time I would say it was my elder brother who took the stance and stood by me and said that Amma, if she wants to study, that's what he told my mom and even my dad, that if she wants to study, just allow her to. And so then it was masters. I did my masters, and then of course it was after that I wanted to do my doctorate way back immediately. Then parents had their thing कि हमारी भी responsibility है, like we would like to see you settled. So for them, for parents, it is settling means getting married. And so of course, then got married, and then with the upbringing that I had, totally devoted my life towards my family, my children, and yeah, the journey has been good. There have been highs and lows, but every adversity has taught me to just become more stronger. And I've always been applauded for my patience, always. So even my in-law side, everybody would say, how come she has so much of patience, like, you know, and of course, at this point of time, I would like to add that I'm a mother of twins. So apart from the professional introduction that you have given, Madhu, I'm a proud mom of twins. I have a son and a daughter. So bringing them up was, I wouldn't say it was challenging at times, but it was actually putting to practice whatever I learned in human development and to walk the talk and to see what's working. And so from the very early like, you know, life where, you know, as a parent, a young parent, a lot of things I could apply with my children.
Super.
And yeah, so that's how the journey started. And blessed with a wonderful life partner who has supported me. All that you have spoken and told about, you know, the like, you know, credentials, it would not have been possible if that support is not there. Okay, so, and because we are not talking about what's happening today, we're talking about something that has happened, you know, 3 decades back. And it started with like me going on Sundays, because once the children were there, they had to, like, you know, someone had to take care of them. And I needed that my time, and that my time was so important. So he mentioned, and then of course, you know, I got this chance to, as the academic counselor for the DEC programming tool, which was on Sundays. So then I told him, but then it's on Sundays. He said, no worries, I'll be there to take care of the children, and you go and just live your life.
So here I would like to interrupt in between, and I'm sure all the viewers would agree with me. And for me, what I would do is this. For Shrikant.
Yes, and I'll accept it on his behalf. Like,
Yes. Yeah, because it's very, very important to have a life partner who is very supportive. Many people can do a lot of things, but they don't get support. So I think he has been a pillar, as what she has just explained. And as far as the journey,
I would just add on and say that you know, he's given me the space that I want, and like, respected that space. It's not only giving, it's also respecting. So both ways. So which has allowed me to bloom, which has allowed me to blossom. And it's not that, you know, way back 3 decades back I had thought that these are the things that I'm going to do.
exactly.
I thought I would probably be, you know, like nurturing teacher or someone who will be facilitating, and that would be my background. I never ever imagined that, you know, this is the journey that I would be taking, and it's just that I would wish, I would dream, and I would want to be in that space, and yeah, I was fortunate enough to be in that space.
And now actually, I don't know whether it's visible on the screen or no, but right now she's blushing. Which is very, very sweet, and to see her in this state right now. And that was the reason, you know,
The gush of oxytocin.
Okay, so to add on to this, what you just spoke about the journey, what's interesting is that your basic education was home science. So from home science to human development to emotional intelligence to coach and to trainer, and forget India, you reached the US. So
How did that happen?
how did that happen? Because when home science, you did home science, so were there any setbacks that कि अच्छा इसने home science किया है, या you know, did you mentally, you know, felt somewhere कि अच्छा हो गया, means I'm done with, because home science usually what at that point of time, you know, people used to say अच्छा ठीक है ये लड़की है, इसको home science कर लेने दो and her life will be set. शादी हो गई, सेटलमेंट एज यू सेड, शादी हो गई, होम साइंस हो गया, चलो हो गया. So how did that entire thing happen, and then how did home science help you? I'm sure it has helped you. So in what way did it help you to go further, to reach US?
Home science, as part of home science, one of the specializations was child development at that time. It was called child development. And then, of course, the nomenclature changed and then it was called human development from 90 onwards, 89, 90 onwards. And that is still holds on. So I had a master's in human development. And when my children were okay, it was also like this that for me it was important and has always been important to be financially independent.
Super. Okay, I will interrupt here for a second, Sudha, with your permission. Please make a note. This point is very, 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 very important for all the ladies and even the guys who are watching. Please teach your kids, teach your girls this one particular point. They don't need anything else from you. Just make them financially independent. Put this in their head that being financially independent is the most important thing, one of the most important things in life, especially for women. And I think that's where now her journey, you'll be able to relate why did I specify on this particular point, stress so much on this point.
So, and it was never that, there was any compulsion to work, or it has always been my choice. So when that happened, and one thing I would also like to share, with our audience and with you as well. In fact, there was a time when just before we got married, Shrikant and me, I went through this very uncomfortable situation where we had not met, we had hardly met because it was an arranged marriage, and it was our wedding was preponed. It was set to be in October, but due to someone who's leaving for US, family, close family, so our marriage was out of the blue preponed. And for me at that point of time, it was, I have just taken up a leave vacancy basis job, and see, in those days it was not the money, it was hardly 1,500 that you were getting, but for me it was a commitment that was very, very important. So, but my parents, as all parents, will say, itna kya hai, it's just the job, and you can always get a job anywhere else. But for me it was, no, I've taken up this job and it's a leave vacancy, so I've given a word to somebody. And no matter what, I couldn't convince my parents at that time. Then they said, no, nothing doing, you just. I said, okay, let me do something. So this EI skills, which I had sort of applied it at that time, where it was the time of England letters. Okay, so I took 2 England letters, and I wrote one to my mother-in-law, and I wrote one to my husband to be. Okay. And I said that, see, this is what it is. Though we had agreed upon, the wedding is happening earlier. So it's like put my plans to a little of a toss. But let me tell you that for me, this commitment with the university means a lot to me. It may not mean to the university, but to me, it's very important. So I would really like it that even though we get married, in September, 4th of September, allow me to complete the duration after 1.5 months of wedding, and then I'll join you back. Okay, and that was a very big thing way back. 30 years back, I'm talking.
Oh, yes.
So, and against the wishes of my parents, because they were wondering, hey, what am I doing? But then, you know me, when I have to get things, I will get it. So I wrote this letter, and very, very fortunately for me, I got a reply from both of them saying that there is no problem, you go. So I went back. After we got married, I went back and I was there for a month and a half. So that bonding that I had with my mother-in-law is so very strong that no matter what, there may have been ups, there may have been downs, and sometimes you do have some misunderstandings, but still, that is so high above that. like, Sat Khoon Maaf, that movie is there. So it's like anything else happened after that, it really didn't matter to me. So big thank you to her for being there by, as uh, being the trigger to the changes that I've had in my life.
Yeah, at the same time, I think it's very interesting if you decode the entire thing. If we decode, it's like quite interesting because you were young,
Yeah.
and at that age
To
also
talk about.
you were very transparent and honest in letting them know कि ये मेरा है,
Yeah.
yeah, ये मेरा है. So because what happens is that because of that one step, did you realize that that was a foundation? Because they understood you more than what they wouldn't have maybe
Absolutely.
with that one step.
Absolutely.
So I think it was a beautiful step that you took, and obviously, people say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So you took a beautiful step, you got a beautiful reply, and it was a win-win.
And I didn't
situation for
really
both.
expect it. I didn't expect it, and it was way beyond me. So till date, that is one thing that I feel has allowed me to progress beyond. So when the time of parenting came, when I knew I had conceived, it was for me that I have to prioritize. I want to be there for my children in the foundation years, which is 0 to 2 years, so definitely. So I stopped all other activities. I was there at home for them, and I enjoyed that time. Whatever crazy things, we didn't have too many things, not many toys that were there around because they were the difficult days, and we didn't have. I mean, financially the strings were tight. So not too many gardens because we were staying in Chembur and plunk in the middle of the main road, so couldn't really take them out also in that 0 to 2 years. So I was there very much at home, was in the joint family with my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. So it was like, a lot of moments together which just helped in getting stronger and getting more patient and allowing time. And told myself that I'm no superhuman being. It is okay.
Absolutely, I think that's another point which needs to be really taken care of. So when you said you have twins,
Yeah.
right? And at the same time, I'm sure during that time your professional life also was taking off. Plus, you had twins. So how did you?
I balance.
And what happens is it's not only about just having children. Different stages of children, when they grow up, and toddlers to and the teenager life,
Yeah.
and then marriage and whole lot of things. So
Have
all
it.
these, yeah. So how did you balance the professional life and also the personal life? I'm sure it would have been very very difficult. It's not easy. Nowadays, when I look around, I just get to see that there is only just one child in a family, and not more than one child. And I am like, well, I have two, so I wonder, okay, maybe their life is easier. But anyway, so we would like to hear from you. How did you manage?
So once the kids were two, then at that time we had not really thought of shifting to family. We were in Chembur. And one thing was clear, I again would appreciate my mother-in-law for being very, very straightforward. And she said, see, they are your children. So you take care of them. It's going to be your responsibility. And that gave me a great and clear guideline as to, okay, so there is going to be no other, see, in some cases there are interferences. So over here, I know that parenting styles or whatever techniques you're going to use as a parent, there's going to be no cross-cutting in between, which happens sometimes.
Which is a blessing.
Which
Which is a blessing.
So that's what I said, it is a blessing, and I really, like the straightforwardness. And then when we moved to Thana, it was I again was very fortunate. In fact, this thing of interviewing and other things, even formal interviews, I don't think I really had, because thanks to my academic performance and everything, I was usually referred, and I never had to really go through an interview. Even for IGNOU, it was my guide, Dr. Ravikanda Kamath. She just told me that go and meet with this person. There is an opening for Indira Gandhi National Open University, and I'm sure you would do a good job there. So that's how it started. And then of course, side by side, Lokpuram happened. Then again, I got her reference, and then she spoke. And she said that this lady would be able to and that's how I started heading the pre-primary school. And it was like children also went to the same school. And here the little background is when we moved to Thane, we went, that was Shrikant and me, along with the children, we went for their interview, to get admission into the school. And this lady, the then head, was interviewing me, like the parents and talking, and of course the children. And hearing my background, she said it would be wonderful to have you over with us also. And it happened simultaneously that I was heading the section, pre-primary section of the school which my children were in.
Oh, wow.
But still at that time, as a professional, I maintained, and in fact I would tell them also that, at home I'm your mom. But in school, I'm ma'am over there. There'll be many other children like you. So it's like, if you come and hug me at that time, and like what generally we do, so it's going to. So I had a lot of talks with the children. There were a lot of preparatory moments that I had with them. And then it was about prioritizing. Okay, how do you prioritize, how you work out? Because one thing for sure that I wanted to work. Okay, and it was not for money. It was definitely not for money, because thankfully otherwise, taken care of. But it was for me, it was my need. Okay, and then it was like balancing it out, then trying to find out someone who can help you. So I had someone who came in to assist, a lady. And then fortunately she was English speaking, and she was there for some time, for about 2-3 years. And then it was like daycare, hona hai, daycare shuru karna hai. And I remember talking to a very close friend of mine who is in this, in the Human Development Department. Now she's the principal of the college. And I kept telling her, like anywhere and everywhere you have these mushrooming of nurseries and daycare centers. It's like you need to just have money and you can start. ये क्या है, किसी को training नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, then you're starting. So she said, if you feel so strong about it, why don't you start? So that is a challenge.
There you are.
And I am by nature somebody who loves to take challenges, and I love adventure. So yeah, so ठीक है, and risk taking was also there, and it so happened that things fell in place. So we started Little Steps, and Little Steps is the daycare center. So it gave me an opportunity to be an entrepreneur as well, and whatever it needs to go in for that. So whatever training that I received in human development, I've put it to maximum use in my professional life as well as my personal life. And then when it stabilized, somewhere, then I thought, मैं कुछ और करना है. So for me, it's that, that kida which keeps, coming again and again, like, I need like something to, keep motivating, like, I'm a very intrinsically motivated person. I don't require someone else to.
Yes, awesome.
So
it's very much needed. It's very much needed. Otherwise, people look for motivation outside.
Yeah.
Which doesn't stay for long.
True, very true. So when Little Steps was in progress, and then of course that's when I met Dr. Kelkar, who is the founder and chairperson of Equipoise. And he came with this proposal because his son was coming to me at that time. Okay, and there was lots of fun. He saw the wonderful things that we were doing with the children, and he said, I have this particular proposal, and this is in the space of emotional intelligence, and I would like it if you are on board with us. And that's how
Your journey, EI journey started.
the informal journey of EI. Why I say informal? Because still at this time I was not trained. Okay, then this was in 2006. So then we met out a couple of times, created the training modules, started with the training programs, and this was for children, for parents, for teachers. So it was like the spectrum that I'm talking about is all the spectrum in human development. So my background of human development has really, really helped me do all this. And then there was no looking back. When my kids were in college, they were doing their graduation. That's when I saw this advertisement in the paper. Way back in 2000, I had also cleared the SET. SET is the state eligibility test for lecturers. So I could at any point of time become a lecturer. Okay. And I chose not to be a full-time lecturer simply because I wanted to work at the grassroots level. When I say grassroots level, it means like with the children. So it's not knowledge that is seeping through and then coming down. But I needed to experience it directly with the children. So that's how I chose not to be a lecturer, in spite of being qualified for that. And then once they were doing their graduation, then it was, and I saw this note that PhD entrance KBA, the ad had come. So there I applied and I targeted and said that okay, let them also do their studies, I also do my studies.
So good.
My dream, which I wanted to complete my doctorate, that happened. So
Awesome.
very, very, very.
So this was at what age? PhD. Yeah.
PhD happened just 2-3 years back.
So
I mean,
that
in,
was-
in the sense the doctorate,
Yeah.
the degree that I received.
Yeah. So
But
that
the
was
journey was 6 years. So I enrolled in 2011.
So that how old were you, if you don't mind?
Okay, now I'm 52. So 2011, so 9 years back.
So that makes
About
it-
43, 44.
So here we'll take a pause here. 43. So age is just a number, and Dr. Sudha Shrikant has just proved that. At the age of 43, she enrolled for PhD, and after 9 years, 6 years.
I completed it.
After 6 years, she took 6 years to complete it, and she got her doctorate degree. तो सीखने का या लर्निंग की कोई एज नहीं होती है या कोई एरिया नहीं होता है. So you should not say, I'm too old to do this. At this age, why should I? Or how can I do it? Or I have children, I have grandchildren. How can I do this now? I wish I would have got time. So these are all just excuses. We have a live example here in front of us. If you have the will to do, you can do it. At any age, at any stage.
Totally agree.
And
Through the process, I would like to say that once I enrolled for the doctorate, then I thought I'm doing so much of work in emotional intelligence. Let me get formally trained. And that's when the 6 seconds
seconds.
training also happened. And it just kept adding, kept adding. And even now I do these, courses, online courses. There is one which I've enrolled for, in fact, on Saturday also. It is on psychopathology or something like that. So I love to learn.
super. So from home science to human development to an entrepreneur and then a doctorate. Wow. Super. So this would have been only possible with a very disciplined approach towards managing your life, managing your professional life, managing your personal life. See, I'm sure in spite of you planning very well and still there are dips and there are highs and whole lot of things happens. but then that's a part of life,
Absolutely.
right?
So it was all about prioritizing and the time management. And it was like no one has compelled me to do it. This is my wanting to do it. So because I want to do it, that is why I go out of the way to do what is required. So I work that extra mile because it's my commitment. In fact, even in our training programs for children, we tell them like, no, let's form some ground rules. So the ground rules are what we form together. It is not my rule. Okay. So the minute it was like in this particular case, it was for me. The rule was not for someone else. It was for me, and I took the responsibility, the ownership of it rested on me. And again, like yeah, there were highs and lows, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Enjoy the journey,
Was,
right?
when I say there were lows, it was as a parent of young parent of twins. It's also when you see health issues of children. And here we are, I'm not talking about common cold and fever. My daughter was diagnosed with a condition called nephrotic syndrome. This is where the kidneys are not functioning properly and the proteins don't get absorbed in the urine, don't get absorbed in the body, they get wasted, maybe in layperson's language. So we knew that there was an issue there, and so it was every next day running to the pediatrician, and then you have this other kid also, and both growing up together, and no help at all. So it was just the two of us, and even at that time, I would say very often I was like by myself with the children because Srikant was traveling his job in the IT space at that time. Took him on a lot of tours, even outside for longer duration. So I knew how to manage. So there was a lot of prioritizing, the time management. So that helped. And as you rightly said, we need to have that planning. It cannot just happen. Everything cannot just happen with the flow. You need to have that vision. You need to set a goal. And once you achieve that goal, have a new goal.
Have a new goal and enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah, it's not about the end product. It is about the process. For me, the process is always very important. And that's given me a lot of value.
So then you have done a lot of work in parenting. A lot of work. She's actually been into parenting, from like kind of handling even children also as well as the parents, and she has dealt on an individual one-on-one basis also, group trainings also for parenting. So and she has like huge amount of experience when it comes to parenting. So can you just like throw a bit of light on that as to how your journey as far as parenting, and what were the how do you tackle with explaining, because emotional intelligence it's being talked a lot these days, but still not understood by a lot, and there is a huge chunk who still doesn't know that there is something called emotional intelligence, and they still, at least in India, they still do not value emotions. True. So how did you, what was your journey when it comes to handling parenting issues?
See again, as I told you before, so it was just us as parents, young parents, and as we grew up to deal with. And my background knowledge was very, very useful, because understanding the developmental milestones of children, what are their domains of development, right? You have their emotional development, you have their cognitive development, you have the physical and motor development. So all these things are not really spoken about, and parents become parents without any know-how, Yeah, they're not prepared. And sometimes even no matter how prepared you are, you're still not prepared.
That is one point, and another. Sorry to interrupt, but there's another point is that in India, I will not talk about the other countries, but
In
in
India.
India, because I have experience through the Indian
More in
parents.
India, yeah.
India, parenting
Huh.
is power,
Authority.
authority, power. So somewhere I feel then that's where that short circuit happens, and everything is a mess.
Yeah. So it is like from the early years, it was always, we always as parents encourage the children to express themselves. They were allowed to disagree. So not necessarily that they have to agree to whatever is being said. Though I'm sure like most children or especially teenagers would feel that the parents are literally on their back. I'm sure my children also would have felt that way.
Mine also feels.
Amma keeps on going again, type. They would have felt it. But I just tell them that be lucky that
Yes.
that you got a little dose of it and not an overdose of it. So
Absolutely.
it is like they were always treated as individuals, even though they were twins. They are twins, so always they were allowed to express themselves. They had very different, very unique interests. Okay, so at this point of time, it became very important for me that I have to practice what I preach. So telling different parents, like suppose now you come with parenting issues and then maybe to give guidance for your daughter, what is the career she has to choose, she may want to become a fashion designer. I'm just giving you an example. But you want her to be, let's say, an engineer or a chartered accountant, or you want to enforce your views and ideas. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work because there is always a conflict. So here I believe that when I'm counseling and I'll say allow your child, let her explore, and then I'm telling you that, but back home, if I have a different story, it cannot be different. So I have to walk the talk. So that became so very important. So when my son showed his interest that he wants to study wildlife, he wants to study ophiology, that means study of snakes. I mean, all these terminologies, believe me, I didn't know about it. And it's like through the journey, and it helped. But what I'm coming to say is like how I had decided way back in 9th standard that this is what I want to do. Both my children had decided what they want to do, or at least they had an idea, very fortunately. So where my son wanted to get into the wildlife space, my daughter wanted to get into the hospitality industry. So it was important to just help and guide them into that space, and not really get into the rut of or the rat race of what is happening. Okay. So we had so many people because finally it is like daughters अभी भी वो mentality है कि daughters हैं कहीं भी like they'll settle, but son has to have a career, and what will we do for bread and butter. Okay. And all our friends kept asking us like what is he going to do for bread and butter? You can't keep
Snakes.
going behind animals and snakes. How is that going to help? And in fact, this was there even for, I would admit that even Srikanth was a little uncomfortable at that point of time and said, how is it going to happen? We had a lot of talks, just the two of us also, my husband and me, and said that, see, they have a very strong urge to do, and they'll make a life for themselves. Up to 18, up to 20 is what we need to do. Rigorous parenting, setting the values, and giving the foundation.
Absolutely.
After that, it is for them to lead
Take
their
off.
life. We are not going to lead their life. So that was very, very clear. And fortunately, things have worked. And both my daughter did hospitality study, and my son is into wildlife. He's working for WWF India.
Super.
And he worked for WWF India. And very soon there are other opportunities that are coming as well.
In fact, Kaustubh, if you're watching there,
I
I'm
know.
very proud of you. And honestly speaking, I'm very proud of Sudha. I'm very, very proud and a lot of respect for Shrikant and Sudha both for kind of supporting you and understanding you about the field that you wanted to go in. Yes, there is an insecurity, especially in our country, because of the kind of system we are into. Only because of that. Otherwise, I'm sure all the parents would have said, "कि करो जो करना है तुम्हें." If there was, everything was all set. But this also reminds me of that small clipping from Three Idiots, where this guy, he wants to become a photographer and wildlife photographer. And जब वो अपने घर जाता है and उसके फादर उसको बोलते हैं कि नहीं तुम क्या, जब तुम्हारे तुम्हारे फ्रेंड्स जब बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियों में घूमेंगे और ये होगा वो होगा, उनका घर होगा, बंगला होगा, तब तुम छोटा सा मुंह लेके हमारे पास आओगे. And that one dialogue was there. So that is, it's not that they don't trust or they don't value.
But believe me, we had these discussions, even with Kaustubh, when, he chose the career, he chose the path. We did speak to him. We said that,
It's
it is
very
possible.
natural.
It is possible that all your, friends and others would be having, high-flying careers, lots of bucks, money they will be making, and it's possible you will have a humbler life, which you don't know. To which at that time, way back when he was around the 12th standard or so also, he mentioned that whomever I marry, I will say that she is happy in what I have to offer for her, and we will make a living together. We will have our life. And I would also like to share at this point that he found his partner and he tied the knot during the pandemic in a very intimate ceremony on the 2nd of July. So yeah, he found his match. He found someone to support.
And someone who has actually kind of understood and loves what he does.
Loves it. So when it comes to parenting, I would like to tell the audiences who are young parents that very often we feel very helpless when children don't do well. Okay, simply because doing well is proportionately associated with having a good career, and having a good career is associated with getting lots of money. But somewhere down the line, money is important. It is not everything. So somewhere down the line, if we are able to chalk out what is it that we are passionate about, what is it that really keeps us going, so that's going to give the sustainability, and money will definitely come in. Because there's nothing like I'm contented with money that comes in. Because no matter what, you're always going to feel that I wish I had this, I wish I had all this. Yeah. So it is for us to design our life, and we should choose to design our life, and we should take the responsibility of facing the consequences of our choices. हो सकता है we may fail. It's okay. It is possible and it is okay. And that is something which I feel needs to be highlighted, that failure is okay. In fact, multiple failures makes us just get stronger. And it is for us to believe in ourselves. And as like parenting, through parenting, we also needed to have a lot of reassurances. So, and for the young parents, it is like, we invest so much of time in, when we are buying gadgets, we see the user manual, comparative, is this model better, that model better, and all the intricate details. But such an important aspect of bringing another individual, giving life, giving birth, and being responsible for 18 odd years. We hardly invest time in that. So I would like to equate and say that, EI, if we are able to really, it's a blue chip investment according to me, emotional intelligence. So if we are able to do that, through parenting, for the parents, and if not, you're not a parent, you're an individual, even then, yeah, it's very important. So
At any stage of life.
at any stage,
With yourself, it's important.
absolutely.
Or forget about the others.
And you did ask me earlier that how did we get this chance to go to the US and have this paper presentation. There were very funny incidents. Do we have the time that I can talk about? Yeah. Okay. Again, it's a very humorous incident because the one morning I just woke up and I said I have a dream, and I had a dream, and what I saw in the dream was that I am standing below Niagara Falls. And it was such a wow feeling, and like a bubbly girl, I went and told everybody that I got this dream, and I believe in the secret that when you wish for something, it's like the universe makes its way for it. So at that time, I had family members, maybe not really ridiculing, but they thought, सच में थोड़ा पागल हो गए कि कहाँ Niagara और कहाँ. And then that time we had a trip to Kerala, and I remember my uncle did tell me, I'm not sure if Niagara happens, but you can go to Adilapalli waterfalls because that is the Niagara of India. And believe me, because when I am quite a nature person, I like to go on trips. So we did take a trip to Adilapalli waterfalls and had a blast, had a great vacation. Then we came back, and then Dr. Sandeep Kelkar, he calls me and he said, guess what, our paper has got selected and we have to present over there in Boston, at Harvard. I said, wow. That time still the Niagara thing had not come into my picture. It was more of the presentation, paper presentation, and we presented this paper on this very unique topic, EQ as a psychological vaccine. Okay, and then I just announced it at home that this paper presentation has been accepted and we need to go. This is in June, and we got this news in January. And then, thanks to my husband, I would say that he planned the other itinerary, and he said, "Udhar tak ja rahe hain." You're going till Boston, and Buffalo is just there across, not too far away. So from New York, so we planned for the trip, and Niagara happened. Okay, the Nexus EQ happened, and we did the paper presentation. That was the first in our US itinerary. And yeah, in 2013, the Niagara happened. I stood below Niagara Falls, and thud, the flow of it was so blissful, so very blissful. I thought, wow, dreams come true. Dreams come true. And in my case, touch wood, many of my dreams have come true. So universe has opened its the energy.
Super. So, since we are talking about emotions and secret, and so there's this another very important part which I would like you to highlight as far as emotions are concerned, and that is suppressed emotions. And you have mentioned to me that you have gone through it very, 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 very closely. So can you please explain what is suppressed emotions and why emotions are important? Why is it important for people to know and understand emotions and value them, which is seldom happening?
True.
So can you just
Sure. This was sometime about 10 years back. I was diagnosed with this very vague, unheard of condition called esophageal motility disorder. Okay. And this was diagnosed at not any of our hospitals here because they wouldn't, I mean, no one had any clue. So what the condition was is that I had major problem in swallowing. So it would be even like you have a biscuit or something that took a couple of minutes, about 4 minutes or 5 minutes to push it down my throat, and it wouldn't go without any juice or water or milk or something. And it was getting increasingly difficult to eat because every morsel would take time. And of course, now that I am an all-rounder, actually an all-rounder, but at that time I lost a lot of weight because there was hardly anything that was going in, and it was worrying, okay, and a lot of tests were done. We had the barium swallow test and the CT scan test to find out whether there was any block. Okay. They ruled out that there is any block. So then something needed to be done because the condition still existed.
Was there also some breathing issues also?
No.
Along with that?
No. It was only swollen. And then, of course, at KEM hospital, it got diagnosed this condition. And then now what? Something needs to be done because there's no medication for it, and it is the condition is such where the muscles in the esophagus that do not work in coordination properly, which do not allow for the passage, smooth passage, and that's why it takes a very long time. So that was one of the several autoimmune conditions. And here I would also like to say that most of the autoimmune conditions which we cannot pinpoint and say have a lot of inward journey and reflections to do because you'll find your answers. And I'll tell you where it stems from. Then I went to a naturopath. Okay, and with the naturopath we had these sessions on mindfulness. And he posed this question. It was not a hypnotism session. I was very much awake, very conscious. And he said that go back to a time when you see an intense emotion. And what is it? Label that emotion. So I went back to a journey which was so many years, and I found myself as a teenager. And the emotion that I stated was of sadness. And it was intense sadness. And so much of sadness. Then I related it to an incident that had happened in my life, which had caused a lot of sadness. And then over a period of time, things resolved, and it seemed as if everything was okay. But it was on the other side of 40 when this condition came about. Through the sessions, I realized that I'm crying so much. Buckets of water, literally buckets of tears, and the full bed would get wet with that tears. So that much sadness was bottled up. And when you're talking about a choke, you're talking, or when you're very sad, what is a feeling fingerprint? What does your body tell you when you feel sad? I'm asking you this question.
Yeah, so
when you feel sad, how do you know you feel sad? Your body indicates in some.
it indicates.
How does it tell?
It indicates that first there is no energy left.
Yeah.
Sometimes when it gets too much, then I'm sure it also breathlessness.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you are not able to talk.
You are not able to talk. Yeah.
And while talking, you actually kind of
Okay.
these
There are those
the
long breaths. that you
long
take
breaths
and,
kind
yeah.
of things. Those are things.
So this is exactly what I'm relating to it, that there was that sadness which was pinpointed way back in my life, and the esophageal motility disorder was again related to the throat. So in sadness, the throat is affected a lot. You want to talk, but you cannot talk because the words want to come out, and so there is that block, there is that choke. And that was the time when a lot of healing had to happen, and without medicines, of course, healing the natural way, and going back with a lot of reflections till such a time where I could you know, overcome that. So your question was, do emotions get bottled up if they are not released? I would say yes, they do. Because at that point of time, whatever the reason, the sadness was all bottled up, and it was, I did not give enough time, or let's say was not given enough time. And this is what generally parents also
Yes,
do.
yes.
Parents immediately when they see a crying child, they say, okay, now just wipe your tears and things are going to be okay. You know, chalo, happy face dikhao. But from within, I'm very sad. So all that sadness was probably just pushed under the carpet at that time, unknowingly. See, all this happens in adversity.
Yes,
I don't think parents realize it.
They don't
also.
realize.
They
Yeah.
don't realize. But now I'm able to actually disassociate myself, and I've become my own case study. Okay, I don't really believe in not necessarily other people's life, but my own life has a lot to
You
be
have
explored
something.
still, and so yeah, bottled up emotions do tend to affect. So it needs to be addressed, and that is why emotional intelligence plays a very important role. And very much being in the space also, I may have been working in this space, but still there are times when you don't know
It happens.
everything.
Yes, yes.
So you need to allow yourself to learn. You need to allow yourself to accept that you don't know everything, and there is still more scope.
And
to
we are
learn.
humans. At the end of the day, because I know somebody who is from a similar field, and it so happened that while talking and while discussing, and one point which was made was that it's very, very difficult. Even though I have years of experience in emotional intelligence and I know what it is, and I've been like kind of imparting with the people, and I counsel, and whole lot of things, and psychology and whole lot of things. But when sometimes when the real life situation comes in your own life,
It's hard hitting.
with your own people, it is not an easy task. Definitely. And here I think one of the very good points that you have raised, Sudha, is a very, very good point of discussion actually, is with reference to the parents. When a child is crying and तो रो क्यों रहा है या रो क्यों रही है, रोना बंद करो. So I personally I feel yeah, okay, during our times and अभी के time में there is already a huge change, but still there needs to be a more open discussion when it comes to expressing. I think we should all let our children express. It could be any kind of emotion.
We need to be patient with them. Okay. And today, honestly, we are seeing children becoming very impatient. Forget children, adults are so impatient. So what is this leading to? It is leading to there's no impulse control. There's no delaying of gratification. Okay, they want everything now. Click of the button and abhi chahiye. And if they don't get it, there is a tantrum. Outburst. And it so happens that the louder the children cry, mark my words, louder the children cry, faster the parents run.
Exactly.
Which again needs proper parenting guidance, because what happens is negative behavior, whenever it is reinforced, you give more and more attention to negative behavior, it's like you're reinforcing. And positive behavior, when a child does something good, it's hardly complimented. It's like taken for granted. So there may be little tasks like helping in the house, some chores that the children are doing. And here I'm not talking about any gender specific rules. झाड़ू उठाया तो दोनों को उठाना है, okay? कपड़े सुखाना है, दोनों को सुखाना है. When it comes to getting into the kitchen, also it would be nice that you pitch in and help.
Absolutely.
When that happens and this is inculcated from home, Okay, and more so, I would say to the moms, allow your sons, allow your sons the same opportunities as you give your daughter. You want your daughter to be in the kitchen, let your son also be in the kitchen. You want your daughter to help you with the house errands, let your son also do. And the chores, I mean, like, grooming. And of course, the pandemic by default has, I think, allowed a lot of changes to happen in many, many households. So it is a blessing.
It is a huge change. A huge change.
So when we are talking about this delayed gratification and controlling of the impulses, what it is teaching the child also is that he or she needs to wait. It's like how probably you and I may have waited for a very long time during our year to get a new dress.
Oh yes.
It would be probably only for the
And we
birthday.
would still ask.
We would
Never
himmat they
ask.
would never ask. So whatever would come our way would be only one probably for the it's like birthday or for whichever faith you follow during that festival. And any other happens, it is bonus. But today I ask the parents, how many of you, like how often do you buy for your children? Whenever there is sale.
And sale is
Almost every
24/7.
Exactly.
Sale is 24/7.
So children are not waiting for the delayed gratification. They get things even before they can ask for it. And it's not about paying capacity, purchasing capacity. It is
no more
about
about
valuing. And here I would also like to share with you, Madhu, that for teenagers, very easily parents give a lot of pocket money. Okay, there is no ceiling on the pocket money. Chalo, paisa le lo and go and spend. I'm not talking about all parents, but many parents do so because one, they are hard pressed for time. And
I think that's one of the major things, and that leads because the guilt.
because of it. So then they never realize the value of money, and by the time they are into their teens, then you feel you don't value the money you're asking, and then you just lose something, and then you want another thing. We were not like this. But my
But your
question
parents
again, my question to the parents, today's parents are, like, they were not born this way. Who's made them this way? So we need to take the responsibility, because we cannot just see a nice flowering plant. उसमें खत डालना है, उसमें बहुत सारा प्यार डालना है. It needs to have the correct sunlight. It needs to have the correct watering at the right time. Some days, maybe even without water.
Over watering also spoils.
That's what I said. Some days even without water. And that needs to be very consistent with a regular dose of being non-judgmental, having unconditional love. Okay, if all this is there, then I think parenting is a wonderful journey. Super wonderful journey.
It is a very, very, very responsible job, and at the same time,
So don't give in to all the demands. It's
Yeah.
okay to say no to your
It's
children.
okay to say
It's
no.
okay. It's okay. So I was talking to you about inculcating saving techniques in children, how they can save money. So we had this interesting, we found it interesting, where we would give them very limited pocket money. So because my son was using a two-wheeler, so we would say this is the amount, and it was a bare amount of hardly 250 or less than 500 rupees. Okay, and it was told that you manage all your other kharcha. It can be maybe gifts for friends and something else and something else and something else. Your fees is going to get taken care of. And likewise even for my daughter, because she was traveling a little extra, so we gave her travel allowance as well. But she was very smart enough. She said, no, I will travel second class. I don't want first class and all. But I would like that little extra what is there, I would use it as a saving. So fair enough, and then we said that whatever you save in that amount, if if it is like out of 500, if you save 200, that 200 would get doubled. Okay, so every month it was sort of encouraging them to save. So it's not that really pinch yourself to not have anything and then say 500 rupees ka double karo nahi. Because you have your expenses, enjoy, but do mindful expenditure. So they did party, at the same time it was very mindful party. They did enjoy, they did go on picnics with their friends, all that happened, but very mindful. So what's very rewarding, apart from all this, is like as a parent, bringing in two individuals, nurturing them, that has been very, very rewarding. And of course, I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of my husband.
Absolutely. And Sudha, interestingly, whatever we have discussed today, right from when we started till the last this point that you just raised, the crux of the whole thing is being mindful at every stage and every role, every goal, every challenge in life or everything. It's being mindful.
Absolutely. Madhu, I would also like to quickly share that this was in 2004 when the family, the four of us, children were about 11 years at that time. We were returning from Pune by car. And we were driving, just the four of us. My husband was behind the wheels. And somewhere close to Pandey, we met with an accident. And it was a very bad accident. The vehicle had turtled twice. And fortunately, the two of us sitting in front, we were wearing the seat belts, but children behind were tossed. Okay, and the vehicle, the windshield was totally, dabke aa gaya tha andar. And the vehicle was like this when it came to a standstill. It was like I was like almost this way with the the seat belt across. So I just opened my eyes after that jolt, whatever that happened. First moment, I'm breathing. I am breathing. Okay, I'm alive. That realization. I looked to my right, checked with my husband. Is he okay? What am I going to see? I don't know what I'm in for. He moved around and he said he's okay. Simultaneously, very quickly looked back and checked with the children. Are you guys okay? He said, yeah, Mom, we're okay. And in spite of that, four of us were composed, no matter, it was a big shock for us. And people who saw this accident, they were thinking that they were going to pull out wrangle bodies. Okay. But why I'm telling you this is that moment was a moment of realization that we plan so much that we fail to live in the present. So when you were talking about being mindful, it just brought me to add on and just share that we just have to count our blessings. Even now during the pandemic,
Exactly.
every day I wake up, it's like a big thank you to the Almighty that I'm breathing, I am alive, I have a beautiful day ahead of me, and making it beautiful or not is in my hands. So I can make that change. And I'm worth it.
Yes. Incidentally, Sudha, I just remembered, before this pandemic, I used to go down in the garden for exercising every day, next to those steps and all. I don't know why, and this actually I remembered yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since when you narrated this, I remembered it again. That I normally, whenever I used to go, I used to just kind of record my exercise videos and whatever to post on the social media because I have some followers who expect that from me. That day, I don't know, I had got up with a very different mindset and I literally, recorded a not exercise video, my video where I'm talking and I'm actually telling people that I don't know why, but I'm feeling very nice and happy and grateful that I'm alive. And I have posted that video. This was just before pandemic. That is what I'm saying, the relation. Just before pandemic. Why did I feel like that? Why did I
You
come
didn't
up with
say
that
that.
video?
Why did you utter
No,
it?
why did I even feel, why did I even say that I'm grateful that I'm alive? What was it? So maybe it was like some feeling that something is coming up, the pandemic and
Some people can sense it. I mean, they are very intuitive, and those people who are aware of the chakras and you have the intuitive chakra over here. Not everyone exercises it. I mean, in the sense when I say exercises it, everyone has
Has
it, but
it.
everyone's channels are not open. So if you are aware of it, and then you can get into like working on the intuitiveness. But the more you work on intuitiveness and other things, I think somewhere down the line, it's also about our journey and our purpose in life, which I would like to probably term it as maybe the spiritual journey, my journey with what's ahead. Though it may be an inward journey, but it is like bringing out the best.
absolutely.
So yeah, intuitiveness. The more intuitive you try to get, somewhere down the line, I think you start. It's like when the tree sheds its leaves. The tree sheds the leaves which are बस उनका हो गया है like काम. So likewise, there may be people not that you are purposely letting go of your life, but it is like you feel a big thank you to all of them, and you see that they've played their role, and you're available to them, you're there for them, but right now you need your space. So you start working more
On
You
yourself.
start working on
And it comes naturally.
very
It
natural.
comes it's not a deliberate effort that you can make and then yeah, it comes.
As that moment comes, and once that moment comes, then there is no
It's beautiful.
You just feel that you're in the lap of grace, and you feel that there is that divine intervention at the time that you need. And here by divine intervention, I'm not referring to as any faith, any God. No, the divine intervention is just the energy. For me, it is the energy. That is the power. And of course, I also did this course on personal energy management, which was taken by Mr. R. Sridhar, and wow, that helped a lot more. So all these little courses have only enhanced my being. It's like, and the dividends are what we get to see.
Superb journey, and I'm sure at every stage, like now when you were describing and when you were like discussing, so I could feel that you have celebrated every step and every stage of your life, and it's just so beautiful. Actually, so beautiful. Usually, like people seldom do it. They are more into sulking or complaining or whatever. So take care. Complaining is a part of it. It's okay. It goes along with it. But what I could feel from your story and the milestones and the stages and few things which you have just highlighted, like this accident, then Priti's
Health challenge.
health childhood, and also the esophageal disorder. So all these kind of things have made you more strong, and I think somewhere these all these kind of small things that we call it as hurdles maybe, or some which we in our own terms human beings we say that not so good maybe or whatever, but I personally feel that they are all required. They are all
It's because of those challenges we mold the way we
mold the
are.
way we are. सो वो चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए. अभी हम लोग कुछ बनाते हैं तो उसमें मिर्ची भी तो चाहिए ना.
There needs to be all flavors.
All flavors.
In fact, in India, when we say that we celebrate different festivals, and even to mark the first festival, at least for us, if we follow the the Hindu calendar, April is the month, where we have the New Year, the Tamil New Year is there. So for that, we make an ingredient, a dish which has all the flavors, all the tastes. There is sour, there is salt, there is bitter, there is everything. There is sweetness also, and the significance of it is that all these flavors are going to be there in life, and it is as they come, you take it your way.
थोड़ा
And
खट्टा,
deal with
थोड़ा
it.
मीठा.
Deal with it. Yeah. And I would also like to share with joy that I'm soon going to take up a new role now. New
Wow.
role in my personal life.
Okay.
So, can you imagine, can you guess what is that role?
I think it's better if you.
No, any guess? Do you, can you, see, for me, parenting has been a wonderful journey, and I'm looking forward to being a grandparent.
Wow, it's a double degree now. Huh?
So I'm all excited.
So you have already got a PhD in professional life, and you're going to get a PhD now in personal life.
Yeah. So it's like, having a different experience, and being with children, seeing the different, not only my children, in fact, my biological children, when I would say, my children, I would be referring to as the children of little steps.
Yeah,
So many of
them.
them. And they'll say, only they are your children, we are not your children. Like, I've heard this from my kids. So it is like, after being a parent, now, like this is a different journey. I'm looking forward to it, and adventure will continue. So whatever adventures come my way, like recently I did skydiving. So it's like any adventure coming my way, I'll go for it.
Super.
Because I feel
Because we are worth it.
so there's nothing that needs to be left, no stone unturned. It shouldn't be ki, I wish I would have done it. I wish it, I do it.
And I do it. Yeah.
So that's the
Absolutely.
mindset.
Absolutely. So that also is a personality. Not everybody can do it.
See, if you have that fear, now if you're able to overcome that fear, and that's what
You're
emotional
sorted.
intelligence.
You're sorted.
That's what emotional intelligence
It's
is
all
all
about.
about. Be friends with that emotion. It's giving you a direction. That fear is telling me what I can do better. So rather than it's helping me. So I need to allow it to help me. I need to allow all my emotions to help me. And that's what emotional intelligence is all about. How you can be smarter with your emotions. So either as a parent, as an individual, as a professional, as a woman, I think as a woman, yes, we really need, because as women we tend to bend our back this way. We please others because that's our upbringing.
Conditioned.
We are conditioned that way. सब दूसरों के लिए करो, पर खुद के लिए कभी करोगे. So this I would really like to say that there is this Dr. Kritika Doshi who helped me through pain management, because I had an episode like health issues where there was a lot of fibromyalgia, okay, and she told me start living for yourself. Dishes are not done, it is okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
But before 40 I was not like that. So
No, so
once
I was also
had
not like
this-
that.
So then I realized, then all this, then you don't wait for, anyone else to give you a compliment and other thing. You look into the mirror, you smile at yourself and tell, hey God, what a wonderful human being you created. So I have to live like that way, and there's no looking back.
Super. So intrinsically motivated is what is a must.
It's a very strong AI skill which can be developed. Yeah. And rather rather than waiting for something that is extrinsic. If I get this, then I will do this. So instead of that, you do it, keep doing it, and it will happen.
And keep mastering it.
It will happen. Yeah. So as I told you, for me it has never been the product, it has been the process. So I'm enjoying it.
That's lovely. So I think we had a wonderful time.
I didn't
I'm
realize
feeling
the time at all.
we can still go on and on actually. Because there's so much to talk, so much to talk. Every story gets you so much.
Do we have anyone from the audience asking me?
Hai? We can see
Means shopping. Oh,
where on
video, right?
so I'll just pick up my phone now because Instagram actually apparently only allows 1 hour
Okay.
offline.
Okay.
It doesn't
Continue.
Yeah, it doesn't continue. But Facebook you can just go on.
Okay.
So I will just.
But I think we will get it to a very sweet closure. So, yes. Because I'm sure women love to talk. We all love to talk our lives, and that's like.
Okay, just give me a minute, please. I will just have a look at the questions if there are any. Oh, there are lots of them. है ना? On the official page. So I would be uploading this video even on YouTube, and I will be sharing it on the other platforms as well. And I'll give you a cut of it, and then you can also.
So maybe if there are questions that can be answered.
So I will just read out the messages here. Ashok Minan, Niti Ashok Minan. Sudha, you are too good. God bless. With a nice heart sign. Jaya Raj.
Masters with me. Literally hostelite, yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's hostelite buddy, you know.
Yeah.
Jaya Rajdev, so true, being financially independent and financial literacy should be given ever early on.
Absolutely.
So that's by Jaya. Virja, Sudha is an institution in herself.
Virija, that's too much. Thank you so much.
Jaya, you are inspiring and playing the multiple roles and diverse leader successfully, moving on from one challenge to the next. Kudos.
Thanks, Jay.
Jaya Rajdev again. Yes, drawing the personal and professional lines at with your own kids is important. Being mindful of other children around you. So this was, I think, when you mentioned
Yeah,
about your school.
right.
Somrita, well said. We should be grateful for our life. Mishri Banerjee. Hello, Misha. Yeah, Misha. Then, so good to see you both. So there are no questions as such. So if anybody is interested in asking any questions with reference to parenting or with reference to emotional intelligence, or if anybody is who needs help with reference to emotions, maybe stuck in life somewhere, and they don't have anybody to talk to. Basically, usually, a lot of people have this. They hesitate to share their stories. So Sudha is the right person, and you can get in touch with Sudha. Or
In
you can
fact, we
get
do a lot of work in our
Yeah, they are
organization at
yeah.
Equip Boys. We have a lot of relaxations. We have emotional first aid provided. But more than that, we work a lot on preventive measures. So when I say preventive measures, it means because EI are all teachable and learnable skills. So we don't have to wait till something goes wrong.
Wrong, yes.
Okay, so you start preparing yourself. So from the time, according to the developmental milestones, if you're able to introduce the skills, EI skills age appropriately,
Absolutely.
and that's when, like, we will have children facing challenges a lot more effectively.
Mhm.
And in fact, this is termed as the psychological vaccine.
Absolutely. In fact, here I would like to mention that in my family, we are 4 members, and all 4 of us are emotionally intelligent people. So my and also me and my husband, both of us have done the parenting workshops with them, with the Acute Boys. My husband had attended the first workshop which they had designed when they had started initially. And both my children, one is a teenager and one is in the 5th standard, both of them have done their
So we are the
emotional
ambassadors.
intelligence. Yes.
They are the EI ambassadors,
And I must tell you, what you just said, that working prevention is better than cure. So it does help. It does help me a lot of times. Literally, because I'm also honestly, sometimes you get that short circuit, and you tend to behave in a way you're not supposed to, but we all do that. My children they would come forward and they would say, "Are you understanding, Mom? I am feeling sad, or I feel like crying." So they express, "I am in pain," or they actually come and
Assertive communication, basically.
And I really owe this to you all, because I really appreciate, because then what happens, I take a back step. I understand, okay, yeah, here this is what I was going wrong, so I take a back step. I give them their space. We'll talk about it later. It's okay. Doesn't matter.
And that's required. That's required, the space, because sometimes we tend to think as parents that, we know it all. And
Exactly. Which is so wrong. Which is so wrong. Yeah, but at the same time, I would say that an emotionally intelligent child. See, it works both ways. So when your child is emotionally, if the child is intelligent, they also understand their parents, even when it is a short circuit.
Yes, because they can tune in to, they can empathize, they can relate to, they can recognize the feelings, and sometimes just be there.
So it has helped immensely, and if anybody is going through any kind of difficult times, or especially during this time now, especially the teenagers, the children, because they are not able to step out of the house. So a lot that goes on.
There's a turmoil.
Yeah, there's a turmoil. So they take
The man ki khichdi.
So they are taking online sessions as well. There are group sessions that happen, and they are really wonderful, because both my children have gone through it and I've seen the change. So you can get in touch with Sudha. She's there on Facebook, or else you can get in touch with me, and I will give you the contacts and the details about her and about her the institution as well. And with this, I would like to thank Sudha so much for her time, and also for sharing this wonderful journey, Sudha. And this is a small token of appreciation because we are worth it.
Thank you so much. This is so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much, Sudha.
And,
Thank you so much for giving us so much of time and so much of valuable thoughts, actually. And such a beautiful exchange of positive energy and thoughts. And I'm sure our viewers have a lot to take home.
And thank you so much for all those who've given your time, who've tuned in at 3 o'clock, 3:15, and your being there has meant a lot. All your thumbs up and all your hearts that you all have been sharing. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey, and lots of love to all of you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for joining in, and we had a lovely time, and I'm sure all of you all also had a lovely time. You can still write down any comments or any questions on any of the topics that we discussed today, and Sudha herself will answer all of them. And if anybody wants to get in touch, as I said before, you can get in touch in terms of even counseling on one-on-one basis as well. And I think that would really help. And also, you could share this with your friends and your circles in whichever groups you are in. It may help. You never know whom it may just help, and at this during these times especially, you don't know who may need it, because there are so many things happening around you. So with this, we take your leave, and thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we can't hug you there, and we can't hug here also.
Yeah. And we've maintained that distance. I had all the cleansing and everything
Yes.
done, sanitizing and all done. So it's like, yeah. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you. Bye.